Hello everyone. Today we are embarking on a journey into the microscopic wonders of the natural world to uncover the untold story of the animal kingdom's most unexpected champion, the highest jumper on Earth, measured by relative body size. Most people look to large, powerful mammals like kangaroos, impalas, or even athletic big cats when they think of impressive jumping abilities. But today, we shift our focus to a creature so small it often goes unnoticed, the flea. This tiny insect, measuring just 1 to 3 millimeters long, can leap vertically up to 20 to 30 centimeters a distance. That equals roughly 100 to 350 times its own body length. To put this staggering feat into human terms, if a 6-foot-tall person had the same proportional jumping power, they could soar over 600 feet into the air, high enough to clear a 50-story building in a single bound. No muscle-driven jump in nature can compete with this level of efficiency, and the secret behind it lies not in oversized muscles, but in a perfectly evolved biological spring system that rewrites the rules of small-scale locomotion. Before we dive into the mechanics, let's set the stage with what makes the Flea's jump so unique. Unlike grasshoppers, frogs, or kangaroos, which rely on rapid muscle contractions to generate force directly, fleas have abandoned pure muscle power for a far more effective energy storage and release system. For millions of years, these flightless parasitic insects have evolved to survive by moving quickly between warm-blooded hosts, from dogs and cats to wild mammals and even humans. Their survival depends on instant explosive movement, no slow buildup, no gradual acceleration, just a split-second launch that lets them land on a new host or escape danger before they are detected. This extreme evolutionary pressure shaped every part of their hind legs and exoskeleton into a precision-engineered catapult with one extraordinary material at its core, Resilin. Discovered in 1960 by entomologist Torkel Weisfog, Resilin is a natural elastic protein found exclusively in arthropods, and it is nature's closest equivalent to a perfect super spring. Unlike rubber or synthetic elastic materials, which lose energy as heat when stretched and compressed, Resilin boasts an energy efficiency rate of up to 97%, meaning nearly all the energy stored in it is released instantly with almost no waste. This protein forms flexible pads in the pleural arch, a critical structure at the base of the flea's hind legs, where it acts as the heart of the jumping mechanism. To understand how this works, imagine compressing a powerful coil spring with your hand, holding it tight until the exact moment you release it, except in the flea's body. This process happens on a microscopic scale, controlled by specialized muscles and a tiny locking mechanism that makes the jump flawless every time. Let's walk through the jump, step by step, as if we re-watching it unfold in slow motion under a high-powered microscope. First, the flea prepares to jump by contracting large, strong, thoracic muscles that pull on the Resilin pads in its hind legs. This slow, deliberate contraction compresses the Resilin, squeezing it tight and loading it with massive amounts of potential energy, like pulling back the string of a crossbow until it's fully cocked. The flea then locks its hind legs in a folded position using a small, specialized muscle that acts as a latch, holding the compressed Resilin in place and preventing any energy from leaking out early. This locking step is crucial. Without it, the energy would dissipate slowly, and the jump would be weak and ineffective. For a creature that relies on perfect jumps to survive, there is no room for error. When the flea is ready to launch, whether to jump onto a passing host or flee a threat, it releases the latch in a fraction of a millisecond, faster than the human eye can blink or a camera can capture without high-speed imaging. In that instant, the compressed Resilin rebounds to its original shape with explosive force, unleashing all the stored potential energy at once. This rapid recoil extends the flea's hind legs straight down, pushing against the surface with incredible power. The flea pushes off primarily with the trochanters and tarsi, the tiny segments at the end of its legs, channeling every bit of the spring's energy into upward and forward motion. The result is a launch that reaches acceleration levels of up to 140 times the force of gravity, more than 20 times the acceleration of a space shuttle during liftoff. A human would lose consciousness and suffer fatal injuries under just a fraction of that force, but the flea's compact, reinforced exoskeleton protects it perfectly, a testament to millions of years of adaptive evolution. Now, let's compare this biological spring to other jumping animals to fully appreciate its brilliance. Kangaroos, the most famous jumping mammals, rely on strong leg muscles and thick tendons to jump high, but their jumps are powered by sustained muscle effort, and their relative jump height is only about 5 times their body length. Grasshoppers, the most well-known jumping insects, use a combination of muscles and semi-elastic structures, but their jumps top out at 20 to 30 times their body length, less than a third of the flea's maximum. Even jumping spiders, agile predators, that can leap 50 times their body length, cannot match the flea's efficiency or proportional height. The difference is simple. Every other jumper uses muscles as the primary power source, while the flea uses muscles only to load its spring, letting Resilin do the heavy lifting. This separation of energy storage and force production is a stroke of evolutionary genius, solving a problem that plagues all small creatures: how to generate enough power to move quickly when your muscles are too tiny to produce instant force. The flea's biological spring is not just a party trick, it is a survival tool, shaped by the harsh realities of parasitic life. Fleas spend their lives on the bodies of warm-blooded animals, feeding on blood and reproducing, but they cannot fly or crawl quickly enough to catch moving hosts. A single missed jump could mean starvation, so their spring mechanism must be 100% reliable every single time. Over 50 million years of evolution, fleas lost their wings, a trait that might seem like a disadvantage, but this loss allowed their bodies to become more compact and their hind legs to grow longer and more powerful. The lateral compression of their bodies and the repositioning of the pleural arch lowered the center of gravity and made the spring system more efficient, turning a flightless insect into the perfect jumping machine. They can jump repeatedly hundreds or thousands of times in a single day without wearing out their Resilin pads. Another advantage of this miraculous protein, which is incredibly durable and resistant to fatigue. Beyond its role in nature, the flea's spring mechanism has become a goldmine for scientists, engineers, and inventors looking to create better technology. The field of bionics, which copies natural designs to solve human problems, has taken a huge interest in Resilin and the flea's energy storage system. Traditional motors and engines struggle to produce instant high-power bursts in tiny spaces, but the flea's spring solves this problem perfectly. Engineers have developed miniature jumping robots inspired by fleas, using elastic materials and compressed gases to mimic the Resilin's energy release. These robots can jump over obstacles, explore tight spaces, and perform tasks that are impossible for wheeled or crawling machines, with applications in search and rescue missions, environmental monitoring, and even medical procedures inside the human body. Materials: scientists are also studying Resilin to create new ultra-efficient elastic materials for use in sports equipment, prosthetics, and industrial machinery, materials that are lighter, stronger, and more efficient than anything we can make synthetically today. What makes the flea's story even more remarkable is that it is a reminder that the most amazing wonders of nature are not always the largest or most visible. We marvel at elephants, lions, and whales, but the tiny flea, a creature we often swat away without a second thought, holds a world record that no other animal can break. Its biological spring is a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering, a perfect blend of physics, biology, and survival instinct that has stood the test of time. It teaches us that size does not equal power, that efficiency often beats brute strength, and that even the smallest creatures can hold the keys to groundbreaking scientific discoveries. As we wrap up this deep dive into the flea's incredible jumping mechanism, let's take a moment to appreciate the complexity and beauty of the natural world at every scale. The next time you see a tiny insect or a creature that seems insignificant, remember that it might be hiding a superpower, a biological adaptation, or a mechanical wonder that humans have spent decades trying to replicate. The flea's Resilin spring is just one example of how nature has perfected designs that we are only just beginning to understand, and it reminds us that there is always more to learn, more to discover, and more to marvel at in the animal kingdom. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel